Well, welcome back, folks. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. And kicking and screaming, I'm going to comment on this whole drug-fueled Vatican orgy thing. I don't like to go for the low-hanging fruit, to be honest with you. And, you know, there's a lot worse things going on in the world than, you know, some gay sex party at the Vatican. But as the more I thought about it and the more I got some more information here, this is a update from the Daily Beast. Barbie Latza Nadu writes, the Vatican Swiss Guard breaks up a drug-fueled gay orgy in Pope Francis's backyard. And it's interesting to me and it's significant to me that it is the Vatican Swiss Guards. And if you don't think the Vatican Swiss Guards are controlled by the Vatican, then you're not very smart. And if you don't think that the Vatican controlled the release of this, then you're not using your brain. You're not using your head for anything other than a hat rack. So these are the things that make me say, and the reason why I felt like it was probably a time that I did weigh in, because people have been clamoring at me to make a statement about this. But basically, it was like normal. You know, you all had neighbors where you smell things, slamming doors, loud music, squeaky beds, laughter late into the night. And, you know, anywhere else in the world, it probably wouldn't have been a huge deal. But when it happens to be coming from the apartment that the last pope used to live in, that's right, Ratzinger, before he was Pope, Benedict, lived in this same apartment. Oh, my. And Santa Fiso Palace, the apartment is owned by the Congregation for the Doctrine of Faith. Yeah, they were practicing a different kind of faith that night, but Joseph Ratzinger lived there for decades before becoming Pope, and the palatial ochre-colored building is home to dozens of high-ranking cardinals who live within walking distance of their jobs at Vatican City next door. So neighbors finally got sick of what they described as a steady stream of young men who frequented Ratzinger's former apartment, which is now occupied by Monsignor Luigi Capozzi, the secretary for Cardinal Francesco Cacco Palmerio, who's the head of the Pontifical Council for Legislative Texts, which busies itself with deciphering and clarifying various points of canon law. So the neighbors of the apartment of the former Pope called the Vatican's elite Swiss Guard Gendarmerie unit. Interesting. And when they got there, the Vatican police found an orgy in progress. An untold number of naked men involved in a schlongathon, writhing around on the floor with Capozzi and his cohorts, who allegedly were coked up. Now, I remind you that it was the Swiss Guard, the Vatican's own private police force, that busted this out, and yet somehow word of this was leaked out. They took Capozzi to a detox center in the hills outside of Rome, get him off of that cocaine, and now he's supposed to be hanging out at a convent outside of Rome where wayward priests go to repent. I guess if you are a homosexual priest, a convent might be the safest place to put you. But he is going to face misdemeanor drug charges, but orgies are not illegal. Is anyone else kind of surprised that orgies are not illegal in Vatican City, which is its own country? So let me see. The Catholic Church has its own country, Vatican City, and it just happens to be that orgies are not illegal in Vatican City. Now, I thought if there ever would have been a theocracy, that would be it, but apparently not. So he's not going to face any sex-related charges. Imagine that. He could be defrocked. Could be defrocked. His boss has already replaced him, and his boss is not going to face any disciplinary actions for hiring such a promiscuous clerk. The Vatican affirms that the cardinal is in no way implicated in this scandal, but he's expected to resign next year when he turns 80, as is the custom. But it's a salacious headline, and salacious headlines have become very common, and priests have been behaving very badly. And Pope Frankie is said to be very upset with it, even though he's kissing baby Jesus on the privates. I just did that video. You want to check that one out. Like, are you serious? So anyway, here's my take. The Vatican's own Swiss guards found this, broke up this drug-fueled gay orgy. Now, if the Vatican did not want this information to get out, it would not have got out. So I asked me, why are they letting this out? First of all, it speaks of tremendous hypocrisy. They speak against homosexuality. They have, their book, their Bible threatens people that are homosexual with hell, and yet here they are having a huge schlong fest right in their very own dormitories for all of their muckety mucks. And I mean, if they left the windows open, Prince, the Pope could have heard the smack from somebody getting the ass, like a spanking. I wasn't going with the other thing, so that's how close they were. So the hypocrisy is very striking, but what's very striking to me is that the Vatican allowed this information out. And generally speaking, if you're going to allow this information out, we've seen it enough times to know that when they allow this kind of stuff out, then it's diversionary or it's preparatory. So if a cocaine-fueled gay orgy at the Vatican itself is the diversion, wow, who knows what the real thing they're trying to hide from us could be. What in the world are they trying to direct attention away from? Now, Rex Bear on Leak Project was talking about the Vatican knows about aliens, and they're about ready to talk about aliens across the world. I don't know if I go with that, but it's certainly got to be something of that order. I mean, if a schlongfest in the Vatican isn't, if the schlongfest is used to divert attention from another event, I mean, aliens would qualify for an event that they would want to let this out to take attention away from. So, interesting. Another thought that crosses my mind, and I'll just share it as a thought that crosses my mind and nothing more. Maybe they're letting all this out because Pope Francis is speculating about lifting the ban on marriage within the priesthood. And, the more we hear about this stuff, we might say, okay, let him get married. So, just my thoughts. What are they diverting our attention from? Because the Vatican let this get out. They could have stopped it if they wanted to. Why did the Vatican let it get out? What are they trying to divert our attention from? Or what are they trying to prepare us for? Maybe they're going to lift a ban on homosexuality. Maybe they're going to lift the maybe they're going to lift the requirement of celibacy for the priesthood. Maybe they're got aliens in the Vatican. I don't know, but something, if we hear something big from the Vatican in the next couple of weeks, it wouldn't surprise me one bit, because this seems to be a diversionary tactic or a preparatory tactic for the Vatican to allow this to get out when it should have been cleaned up by the Swiss guards and hushed by all of the monsignors and cardinals and all the other guys in dresses over there. So anyway, that's my take on this. Hypocrisy in the highest, yes. But what are they hiding? What are they using this to divert our attention from? Stay tuned. It should be an interesting couple of weeks. I'm Jeff Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. Like, share, subscribe, and please consider sponsoring our work. And by the way, the I Am Divine, I Am Sovereign, I Am Free t-shirt now available at my website. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. Unwind your mind, unindoctrinate yourself, and be excellent to each other.